The Missing Parts of History by AlexandraSuominen. Chapter 2. Air Orion Arcturus Black. Hours passed before the boy moved at all. He was just finishing his lunch when a grunt from the couch distracted him. The boy was now sitting up, reclining on one of his hands while the other went to his forehead. Probably a headache, then, as expected. He remained in silence, deciding to observe the boy for now. He seemed confused, looking at the windows, then the walls. Then he blinked and looked at himself and tried, rather in vain, to get rid of some of the ashes clinging to his body. Giving it up as a bad job, the boy looked around once more. Startled, he jumped when he noticed he wasn't alone and, again, looked around. What was he expecting? Though waking up in an unknown place with a stranger was surely bizarre to him, it wasn't like he had done anything to harm him. He leaned back, relaxing in his seat, and crossed his arms, thinking. No matter how much he had thought it over, he had no idea how to start this conversation. The boy's reactions looked real, so he didn't think he had tried to get into restricted property on purpose, so at least that was something. Should he ask his name? How had he gotten here? About his family, so he could return him and forget about the ordeal? If it hadn't been intentional, then the issue were the wards, not the boy himself. His train of thought was interrupted by the boy. Who are you? Piercing green eyes, so green they could be nothing but magical, centered on him. The boy was looking more in his general direction and not at his face, so his eyesight must be truly abysmal. Another point to the Potter theory. And while the question was rude, this was his house, thank you very much, he decided to indulge him, see where this would go. I am Air Orion Arcturus Black, of the most ancient and noble house of Black, he said, and offered nothing more. The boy blanched, in a completely different way than he was used to. And who may you be? And if I may ask, how did you get into my property? What? Now the boy seemed completely out of it, and to top it off, his breathing was quickening. Just his luck. Creature, a calming draught, and service tea, he said to thin air. The requested items appeared immediately, since he had foreseen a similar situation, on the side table. He dosed one of the cups of rich black tea with 5 drops of the draught. Since the boy hadn't even heard him talk, he must need them. Drink, he ordered after catching his attention. The boy paused, taking the cup, then frowned. Orion saw the quick way his eyes moved from the potion to Orion, to the forgotten wand on the table, and to his own drink. A cautious boy, then. And he had yet to answer his question. When the boy next looked at him, he arched an eyebrow. The boy shrunk in on himself, as if raising his shoulders and trying to hide would save him? Probably thought he had done something wrong, which he had. But then again, the boy wasn't even 16 yet, and his education was up to the adults in charge of him. He couldn't blame the boy for his lack of manners, since he didn't know the environment he was raised in. Not a good one, he thought, taking into account his behavior and his clothing. The boy finally took a sip, not enough for the calming draught to kick in yet. The way the boy grimaced, it was obvious he didn't like the drink, or it was too bitter for him. Unfortunately, sugar and potions didn't react very well together, and needed to be carefully measured. The boy didn't complain, just kept drinking. Orion saw the change happen, the boy's hand stopped shaking, and his breathing evened out again. Good. He put his own cup on the low table, which the boy took as a signal that he could do so too. Will you answer me now? He said, tone flat. I made a mistake. I think I touched something by accident, and I don't know. It started doing some sort of magic, and I fell. So the boy had decided to concentrate on his second question. He measured his options. The boy was wary, so it would be better not to push for answers that he was unwilling to give, but it would be fine to dig deeper into those he gave an answer for. He nodded. he would get the boy to answer all his questions some other way. "Can you tell me where you were before, then? Your family must be worried about you," he said tentatively. The boy clearly did not flinch. He frowned, because the telltale signs that he had wanted to were there, that and the mounting anxiety. Joy. "I am afraid you need to answer. Otherwise, I'll need to contact the Aurors. I do not want to be accused of kidnapping," he pushed. The boy swallowed visibly, eyes wandering. Orion wished to know what was going inside his head. "I was already here." Orion blinked. It had been barely a whisper, but the admission made him snort. Yes, Mother, he knew it was unbecoming. "I think I would have realized if a teenager had been living in my house." The boy did flinch this time. I don't understand how this happened either." He seemed to deflate, burying his face in his hands. The situation was the strangest he had ever been in. Hey guys, Mel here. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed it, please like this video, and if you want to see more, consider subscribing. I look forward to bringing you the next chapter. Bye!